the up and down nature of this team from game to game?
It does, Grant. I did not think we had great mental preparation yesterday, getting ready for the game. And first half of the game, I did not think we defended the way we're capable of, but you got to give them credit. They made shots, but I also thought that they got comfortable. We had a couple too many defensive laps with the wrong guys, transition threes, not, giving up too much separation. But you got to give them credit. They shot the ball well in the first half. Do I think it let them get comfortable? I do. And then we got behind. I thought we got a little anxious. Now, we've played against teams all year that have played gap defense. We knew full well that would be the adjustment they would make, that, they were going to get more into gaps. And I don't think we don't get stops. You're not going to be able to get out in transition as much, because if they're making baskets, they're going to be able to get back and get their defense set. So, again, when they're shooting 60%, it doesn't give us a chance to run the way we wanted to. And because we weren't really moving the ball and moving bodies the way we wanted to or needed to, they were able to stand those gaps. And then it also closes down the offensive rebounding lines. But when you're not shooting well, you've got to be able to go inside and get some things done. And we can't have drop-off passes and those passes kicked out. You've at least got to try to shoot the ball. You got to try to get fouled in those tight quarter situations, and we just turned it over too many times and had too many pass outs. When, again, I just don't think you can do that.
Rick, in a normal year, I guess without the COVID stuff, we'd be around more and see more practice and things like that. It's obviously different right now. Some of these inconsistency issues that we're seeing from game to game, are these things you're seeing behind the scenes the past month or so, or is it just in the games?
No, I see it. I think it's immaturity at times. I do. I do. I think you're still trying to get guys to understand. But it's a combination. Like, we've got a team where, you guys know, we've got some young players that I still think are learning what college basketball is all about. And you say, well, by this time of year, they should know it. Do I think they're going to shoot the ball the same every night, play the same? No, but when they're not, you got to have the other part. Like, you look at tonight's game, Kentucky shot it well in the first half from the perimeter. Second half, they went to work inside. And whether they scored, even if they shot 20%, I think, in the second half, but they were getting fouled. So when you're not making threes, you got to manufacture other ways to score. And we didn't. And you see sometimes the guys that are the most aggressive are going to then think, well, nobody else is trying to do something, I'm going to go do it. And that's where we're not as good as we need to be as a team. And it goes back to consistency. I mean, it is. I haven't really studied the stat sheet, but if you look at their front line, free throws, Sarr got 6 of them. Who else is on the front line? I can't really take because I don't have my glasses on. But I know this, we should have gotten to the free throw line more. I can see that John was 1 for 7. He was 4 for 7. And in games like this, they do need to make themselves more available in terms of – we had to go with a small lineup, because then you start missing free throws and then layups right around the rim. You got to try to get some guys in there at least you think is going to get fouled and make the basket.
Mike, we're not hearing you. You're unmuted, but we're not hearing you for some reason. I'm sorry. We'll go next to Nicholas, Rob Lewis, and Ben McKee.
Coach, obviously, if you look at John Fulkerson's stat line, he was 1 of 7. After Wednesday's game where he had 16 points, are you disappointed in his play today?
Well, you're always, disappointed, concerned, whatever. I mean, with your older players, because that's what you expect out of older players. You expect consistency more than anything. That's what you expect. Younger guys, you can see them being up and down a little bit, but yeah, and just as a team, I mean, there's not one guy that hasn't been inconsistent. I think we all know that if we can put things together, we've got a chance to be a good basketball team, a team that can play with anybody. I think you got to give Kentucky credit too. They've played well over the last 2 weeks. They arguably could be on a 4-game winning streak. They've won 3, could have won 4. But with that said, I mean, really and truly, I can sit here and say just the fact we got beat by 15 is probably surprised me because I thought we were that bad. And in terms of what we were trying to get done and the little shots and the ones that you almost have to make in a game like this when you're struggling from the three. I thought some of the threes were taken by the wrong guys at the wrong time. I thought we got stagnant doing that. I don't think you can get the ball and stare down somebody and then raise up. I mean, that's not how we play. You know, we play better when we move it and get going, but just overall, just not a good – I mean, if you think about it, we go from scoring 80-some points a couple of times, 55 today, but I can show you where, again, our turnovers allowed them – I really still believe the first half, those 15 points we gave them, and I'm not going to say gave it because they took it from us or we gave it to them any way you want to write it. But that was probably the difference in the game and allowing them to get comfortable. They're going to make some shots because they've been shooting the ball well anyway, but we just didn't ever put them back on their heels. And even in the second half, believe it or not, when we come out one time, I think if Eve had a chance to get a three. He got a good look at it. Would have cut it to 11. We get a stop. We come down. Polky gets fouled, and if we make that free throw, it's 9. Who knows? It could have been a different game, but it wasn't because we didn't make those shots. And as much as you know it, and you guys know the game. I mean, when you're making shots, it all looks good. Sometimes, but again, I thought Kentucky was very comfortable in the first half, and I think you got to give them credit because they did make their shots.
Coach, not to put it all on them, but just, I mean, how big of a handicap has it been just not being able to count on your upperclassmen night in and night out? I mean, I can't imagine a first half like this with Grant Williams or Admiral Schofield on the roster.
He's asking about the upperclassmen.
What was it? Was you say is it frustrating?
Just how big of a – can you hear me?
Yeah.
How big of a handicap is it to – I mean, you know you're going to get inconsistency from the freshmen. How big of a handicap is it as a coach when you're getting that kind of inconsistency from your upperclassmen?
Well, again, when you go back, when you start the year, we knew that we wanted to play really fast, and we knew that we felt like we would be able to do some more things shooting the ball. We thought we'd be a better shooting team. But we also know that there's nights when you can get great looks and it doesn't go in. That's where you've got to be able to count on your inside game. We thought we could do that, you know. We haven't got it. And the ones that are frustrating is you cannot, I don't think, when you get drop-off passes around the rim, kick them out. I think you got to go up, be strong, get fouled, finish those plays. And again, we need everybody. But right now, more than anything, you do need consistency from your older guys. They've been through it. They should understand it. And I wish I could fix it. You know, I do. We've talked about it a lot, and we'll continue to talk about it. But, again, it might be that we're going to have to, you know, Josiah, obviously you guys know with him at the lineup, it changes a lot of what we can do when he's out there playing one of the post positions. And in terms of stretching the floor, that gives us a little more space to attack in a way that we weren't able to today. We weren't able to get that spacing that we had up there because of having 4 guys on the floor that you really definitely have to guard, and you're not going to give them any looks. But that's part of the game, you know, and not taking anything away from them. But, again, am I disappointed? I'm very disappointed because I just think that we should be beyond this point of the inconsistencies that we're getting.
Coach, Jaden had been consistent for several games in a row and only had 4 points tonight. Keon was 4-14. What did you see presented them problems tonight?
I thought they were, again, hesitant. I think those guys are young and learning that every game is going to be different. And then, you know, I don't think there's any question Kentucky respected their ability to get by them. They were backing off, trying to encourage the quick, you know, maybe one dribble, raise up shot, or get them going downhill, trying to run and just attack the ball. You know, obviously the scouting report is when Keon gets the ball in there, go in there because he wants to turn and spin. We talked to him about that. But some shots that you guys have watched them play that they normally make. They again, I thought they were a little bit hesitant early. Like Jaden was in there, got too deep a few times, and again, he still needs to get the ball up on. He got one blocked, and I don't know if that changed his mindset or what, but that's where you adjust. I mean, there's nothing wrong instead of getting to 6 feet, stop at 8 feet. I've always said a wide open shot contested by one is a whole lot better than an 8-foot shot contested by one is a whole lot better than a 4-foot shot contested by 2 or 3. And I thought he got himself in trouble getting too deep. And then when he made a couple of the tried to shovel passes, he turned them over, let them get out in transition, and just wasn't a very clean game for either one of them.
Mike, Grant, and Wes.
Rick, was Jaden feeling all right today? I remember you said he wasn't feeling well the other day. What's Josiah's status?
I think he's feeling great. I don't think he's feeling great, to be honest. Again, I'm not making excuses for him, but do I think he's feeling great? I don't. I don't think he does. So that's that's part of where we all are. I mean, there's a lot of guys that play when not feeling well, and some guys handle it better than others. But to be quiet, you'd have to ask him, but I don't think he's feeling great.
And what's Josiah's status?
Again, I think he wanted to try to go today. He just didn't feel like he could do it, and it'll be up to him and what he feels he can work through. And whenever he feels he's ready, I know he'll be ready to go. He'll be wanting to get back in and going at it.
Rick, can you put your finger on why this team doesn't seem to handle adversity well outside of, I guess, what they did at Kentucky? It seems like when adversity hits, they haven't been able to respond.
I don't know if I would say they don't handle adversity. I don't think they've handled success very well, Grant. When you feel like we're getting things going and you feel like we're turning the corner, that's why I don't think we've had to. That shows up more like, when you talk about not seeing practice, I think if you saw practice, you could see some of that. But I will say this too, that goes back to really leadership within the framework of what we're trying to do. And some of that we talk about, it's got to come from within the players. But I would say that more of the adversity I don't think we've handled success very well. I really don't, because it's that old adage, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And I know yesterday we didn't get better in terms of what we need to do with our preparation. And that's frustrating. We talked about it because, I watch practice tape every day, sometimes twice a day. And I made them watch what we did in practice yesterday and showed them that, hey, this ain't going to work. And we honestly came out and played the first half, pretty much how we practiced yesterday. And understand this, it wasn't very long. It wasn't. If you took each guy's time that we worked on what we needed to work on, may have been 30 minutes at the most. And that's the frustrating part of it, because we want to stay fresh. We want to keep their legs there. But it's so much, this game is so mental, so much more mental than people might think. And we're not where we need to be mentally yet.
Rick, I know there's obviously a lot of different ways to play offensively. And, some teams are kind of focusing so much on either shooting a three or getting to the rim. And y'all seem to do it a little bit differently with more of that mid-range game. How many of those kind of tough mid-range twos or shots y'all are trying to get versus ones you're having to settle for?
Well, to be honest with you, our whole philosophy is we want to play at three levels. We want to get to the rim. We want to shoot threes, but we're not afraid to take the mid-range game. We're not, because we think it'll be effective. So, again, that's, we want to be able to score at all three levels. And, we've been good at it. I don't think we're getting what we need at the rim right now. I don't think it's really a great sign when you've got to go with a four-guard lineup and get a guy down low that's fighting harder to score than your post players are doing. And some of that is simply to get fouled. We got to get fouled. But I just thought we were very lethargic, and that I wish I could put my finger on right now. All I can go back to is what keeps going to my mind is exactly what I saw yesterday in practice, in a short practice.
Coach, thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Well, now